first. Watch out.
Look at this. Upton pops it up. Left side, Elvis Andrus is backpedaling. He is under it. He puts it away. The Texas Rangers have won a postseason series.
The Texas Rangers are American League champions.
And welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after a tough 3-2 loss to the 46-74 Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, man. What are you going to do? The Angels, just for whatever reason, the Achilles heel for this team. You have seen this happen far too many times this season. Anaheim has now won 5 games against Texas this year. More wins than what the Rangers have. Crazy enough, crazy as it sounds. Angels are currently leading the season series against Texas. What do you say? You've got a pitcher on the mound that the average MLB fan has never even heard of course. No disrespect to Ryan Johnson. Look, he had a ERA that was absolutely terrible coming into this ball game. And so naturally he limits the Rangers to 1 run over the innings that he pitched tonight. You had a few number of questionable decisions. You had Skip Schumacher wheeling and dealing a little bit there at the end. You had Jock Peterson pinch hit for. Saw online there were some people upset by that. You had a key situation, runners on first and second, Evan Carter up, not bunting. It is just not a great night tonight, especially with Houston currently losing 4-1. You would have loved to have seen the Rangers really take advantage tonight. And for whatever reason, they're just not able to. Ryan Johnson, by the way, entered with a 7.11 ERA. Texas scored 2 runs. When you're half a game from first place in August, these are exactly the kind of games that you just cannot keep wasting. You can't keep wasting these ball games. Is the sky falling? Is the season over? No. But Texas just far too many times has wasted games like this that you easily could take advantage of. And at some point, I've said it a number of times this past week, they've got to stop playing down to the competition and really start dominating and taking advantage of this stretch that they're in right now. Now, look, you win 2 games, you win 3 out of 4. That keeps the goal front and center. I don't think we ever said, hey, you got to sweep or you failed. I don't think anybody has said that. I haven't really even heard anyone around Rangers Nation saying that. I'm sure there's a couple people, but by and large, I don't think anybody has laid down the expectation that this team needs to sweep in order to feel good about themselves. You got to win 3 out of 4, though. You split this series. You lose this series. My goodness. I don't even want to go there. You split this series or lose this series, you got some problems. You got some problems. Let's just say that. Hey, by the way, here at Right on Rangers, we cover everything Texas sports, but we put a big emphasis on the Rangers during the MLB season, and we thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for all of your Texas Rangers content. Feel free to drop a comment, drop a question, and, of course, for all of you guys hanging out, you already know if you have to take off, if you got to get to bed for work tomorrow, just know after the show, we will be posting our lives, putting them into audio format, and making sure that they get to all of the major podcast providers, Apple and Spotify, iHeartRadio. We are getting to pretty much every major podcast provider at this point. Thank you for all of you that have already followed along and supported along the way. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, let's get rolling. Comments, we'll get to them here. I got a few things to dig in on, but we're going to see what y'all have to say real quick. Game was lost on the double steal in the third because Wynn's defenses, and I'm going to edit this a little bit for our audiences at home, is bad. Yeah, Wynn's definitely has the good pop time, but, look, we have rolled out back-to-back years this piecemeal plan when it comes to the catcher position, and this is kind of what you get. Elias Diaz has not been perfect. He had a nice game last night, but Elias Diaz has not been perfect either. He has had his flaws and his holes in his game down the stretch here after a very hot start to his Rangers career. Now, we have a number of different things to talk through in that third inning. First of all, you had the throw by Wyatt Langford. I know some of you guys are talking about Wyatt Langford right now. Natalie says, what is going on with Wyatt? I've got to think the arm is bothering him a little bit because these throws are just so bad and so lazily attempted that I just can't think that anything else is possibly true. I mean, we've seen Wyatt throw people out at the plate before. You've seen Wyatt with outfield assist. You never thought he had a cannon, but we've seen Wyatt throw runners out. For me, it's got to be an injury. If it's not an injury, I don't even know what to say. Jackson from TikTok says Wyatt might be left-handed. Man, you got to laugh sometimes. I got to admit to you guys, as I was setting up for the live, a little bit of depression setting in, just like, why do we keep doing this? Against the Angels, man, against a dude that had a 7.11, I think it was 7.11 ERA coming into this ball game. You got to be kidding me. We keep rolling. Kenny says we just can't score, a total team effort. No one stepping up. Very frustrating. 2 through 4 in the lineup today. I mean, you really have to point a lot of blame at the 2 through 4 spots. We're going to go through it, but had so many ops today. Langford, Seager. I mean, look, Nimmo had 2 base knocks, but I believe he did have did he have a left on base? I feel like he left a couple on base one time. He was on base. I'm not going to get too mad at Nimmo with the 2 knocks, but I thought he had a 1 or 2 situations where he had some runners on. Check me on that one, chat, if I, for whatever reason, I'm not getting that right. Nimmo did have 2 hits, but didn't he have at least one opportunity where there were ducks on the pond? Let me know if I'm getting that wrong. I mean, definitely Langford and Seager, though. You have Langford and Seager going 0 for 4. And I know Seager's been hitting the ball hard. The contact has been pretty solid for Siegs, but nonetheless, just unfortunate that he's not able to come through. You really could have used that big clutch hit. And honestly, it was aligning perfectly for your arguably your best hitters to come up and do damage. Yeah, let's talk about this. A lot of people are going to be pissed off about, Evan Carter's 0 for 4 performance. And I think the comment is being fair, actually. Like, you should be upset with a lot of the offers tonight. Evan Carter's in a very bad stretch right now. We're going to talk about that stretch. But the first base situation is something we've been chatting about for the past few nights. Jake Berger, God bless him. He's a good man. Does a lot of good in the community. Good guy in the clubhouse. It's a business. He is, at this point, 11 for his last 51. The splits on Berg on the year against righties, he's batting .226 with a .674 OPS. I have no clue why, at this point, they're not benching Jake Berger against right-handed hitters. Lord Tubbington, my only pushback on totally saying that he's terrible, he does have an .815 OPS against lefties. So I do think that the play right now with Jake Berger is platoon. I have no clue why they are not platooning this guy right now. No clue why they're not platooning Jake Berger. Jake Berger should be benched every time there's a righty up. I mean, look, I don't think this is overreacting. Skip, by the way, is on the mic right now. Let me know if he says anything interesting. If you got Skip on in the background, all right, let me know. But I don't think there's any better litmus test than tonight. You have a right-handed thrower in Ryan Johnson, 7.11 ERA for the Angels tonight. If you were going to play Jake Berger against a right-handed thrower, this would be the ideal matchup. You know, there's some tough righties in this league, right? There's some very elite right-handed throwers in this league. And I don't think that there would be any issue benching Berger against one of those tough righties. But I think you're going into a game like this thinking, my guy's got to be able to have some success against a dude like this, against Ryan Johnson with the 7.11 ERA. Nope. The fact that Berger today gets the righty-righty matchup against a dude that now, I mean, after a pretty solid game, still has a 6.71 ERA. The fact that Berger going 0 for 4 with 2 Ks can't get it done against below-average right-handers, it tells you all you need to know. You got to platoon this guy. They've got to get creative at first base. Maybe that's playing Jock Peterson. We're going to talk about Jock in a second. Maybe that's moving somebody else to the first base position. They can't keep running Jake Berger out every day, man. It's not working. The sample size is huge. With Jake, it is a huge sample size. He's got a total of 327 at-bats against righties. This is a huge sample size. This is not like, hey, only 50 ABs. Come on now, you're being unfair. The dude has 327 ABs against righties, and he's got a 674 OPS. It's a no-brainer. Platoon the man and let him play against lefties where he seems to be somewhat competent. I mean, look, last night, I know he had the little bloop. It wasn't like a Jake Berger 110 off the bat smash, but I know he had the base hit yesterday against lefties. That's the play, I think, at this point with Jake. Yeah, I understand. A lot of you guys are saying this entire lineup needs to be platoons. Ranger Nation 18. That was the comment from him. I think right now, unfortunately, that is where you're at with this lineup. It's a lineup of very few everyday players. And the everyday players that you do have, maybe minus Brandon Nimmo, are not necessarily really connecting with the baseball right now. I mean, you got Wyatt Langford, everyday player. Wyatt, at this point, it's an abysmal record, man. He is 2 for his last 21, 6 for his last 53. In his last 15 games, he's hitting 113, and he has got a 492 OPS in his last 15 games. It's been bad, and there's no way around it. This is a brutal 15-game stretch for him. You go wide frame, last 30 games, it gets a little better with Wyatt, but last 15 games, man, 492 OPS for Wyatt Langford. Wyatt's one of your everyday guys. Corey Seager's one of your everyday guys. Seager at this point, over his last 15 games, 235 with an OPS south of 800. You go to his last 7 games, 222 with an OPS north of 600, slightly north of 600. And these are arguably your 2 best everyday players, right? When you have everyday players that aren't producing, and then around those players, you have platoon players that aren't getting platooned, Jake Berger, one of them, it's not a great recipe for success. It's not a very formidable lineup. Roster construction, I would totally agree. G-Man, that's what the comment is, YouTube comment here. Roster construction, I think a lot of us said we didn't have enough firepower offensively. And I agree. The Rangers should have done more in the offseason to make sure that this offense was going to be at least league average. This offense is not league average. They're not. Not at all. Cade says Kellenic left field, Jock first, Wyatt, and Nimmo DH. Yeah, you could do something like that. There's just not a lot that you're getting excited about, though. Like, Cade, I'm reading this, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's not exciting to me at all. I mean, Kellenic, Jock first, Wyatt, Nimmo. It's just meh. You've got to start having these everyday players catch fire. There's no other way around it. No other way around it. Bryce, what's good? Thank you for the comment. Bryce says he's worried about Jock on first base. Doesn't seem comfortable when he's out there. Defensively, Berger, I'll just kind of summarize here. A bit of an improvement. Not sure you want to take that chance. I think at this point you do take the chance, Bryce. I don't think Jock is a great first baseman at this point, but I think Jake Berger's not a great hitter. So how much are we going to continue to value defense? I mean, we're kind of talking about Evan Carter a little bit in the chat right now. Evan, obviously a guy where you're valuing the defense and you're keeping him in the lineup because of the defense. I don't know that Jake Berger's at that level, if we're just being honest. I think Jake is at a replaceable level when it comes to the defense. Evan Carter, a little bit of a different story. A little bit of a different story with Evan. Man, you guys are crushing it in the chat tonight. I can't even keep up. So don't take it personally, man. I'm going to keep trying. Yeah, I'm with this comment from TikTok here. Texas 43 says, the fact they can get so many base runners but never bring them home. It's happened all year. It's happened all year long. We have been able to get traffic, but you just can't clutch up and get that big hit. Ironically, for a while, Jake Berger, this was a Fangraphs stat, right? Fangraphs has the clutch stat. Ironically, Jake Berger was one of our clutchest players, according to Fangraphs. And it did feel like he would come through with a big knock at the beginning of the year, first half. But, man, it has been almost non-existent lately. Let's talk about Jock Peterson for a little bit. Jock Peterson, home run today, led off the game. Love to see it. He has hit a number of leadoff bombs this year, 22 on the season. Clearly, when playing in the lineup, I would say the Rangers' best hitter. I don't know if there's anybody else that you can put up there besides Jock Peterson. And my comment that I posted about right after the home run, not at all a slight at Jock. In fact, a little bit of a slight at Skip, the lineup, CY, who we know is also in on lineup construction as well. Skip in the front office. I've talked about this many times. Skip has made it clear there is constant collaboration between the front office and Skip with lineups, with pitching matchups, with lining up the pitching matchups. I don't understand why they continue to hit Jock Peterson leadoff. They are deathly afraid of him falling off a cliff, I guess, if you move him out of the leadoff spot. Jock is our best hitter, and he essentially comes up to bat with no runners on base. I would say feels like 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times, Jock Peterson is up with nobody on base. And just think about it. His first at bat of the game, nobody on base. He's leading off, duh. He has the 7 through 9 hitters in front of him. Today, he's got Austin Wynns, Jake Berger, and Nicky Lopez hitting in front of him. I mean, how are you ever going to get your best hitter RBI opportunities if you're going to bat him in a position in the lineup where he's literally never going to have people to drive in? I mean, look, 7 through 9 is going to find a nut every once in a while and get on base, but not frequently. I think that they're just deathly afraid that he's going to fall off a cliff if they move him out of that leadoff spot. It really makes no sense to have your best hitter. I know Ohtani does it, but the Dodgers have a luxury. The Dodgers, I mean, that is a totally different conversation. Ohtani plays on a team with 5 or 6 above average offensive players. This is not the Dodgers. So I've heard that argument thrown around a little bit, like, hey, look what they're doing with Ohtani. Even Trout, for a little while at the beginning of this season, was hitting leadoff for the Angels. The Rangers need Jock Peterson to get opportunities with runners on base. I know that the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is relevant in a number of different situations. I just don't know how much I can keep throwing that phrase out there when it comes to this particular moment, with Jock being, like I said, clearly one of the better hitters on this team, if not the best, getting no opportunities. I don't know. Did he have an opportunity at all this game with runners on base? Jock needs to be hitting at minimum. He needs to be hitting 2. At worst, hitting cleanup. I would probably want to hit him 2 or 3, but he needs to be hitting somewhere in the 2 through 4. This might be my video for tomorrow. I feel really passionate about this, man. Like, he's got to have somebody on base in front of him with how hot of a bat he's swinging. I find it really hard to believe that he is going to self-destruct if you put him anywhere else in the lineup. That would be wild to me. Look, baseball's crazy. I know it's crazy. It's a brutal sport at times. I'll knock on wood. I just would not bet you move him one spot down, he's suddenly going to melt and become 2025 Jock. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I think this is correct. A lot of you guys are already getting ahead of me. I'm putting Brandon Nimmo in the leadoff spot. Cade says Nimmo, Jock, Seager, Zeke, Wyatt. I mean, look, you can argue about the 4-5 maybe, but I think 1,000% you've got to have Nimmo leading off again. Nimmo has to lead off, put Jock right behind him. Yes, you're going double barrel lefty, whatever you want to call it, back-to-back lefty. I mean, in this, you're going trips left. Against a righty, I don't really care. I mean, do it against a righty. Nimmo, Nimmo's basically a right-handed hitter, so I don't even know if we can really count Nimmo. I mean, Nimmo might as well be a righty. If you're going to throw a lefty out there against him, like, Nimmo is having a legendary season when it comes to left-handed hitters hitting left-handed pitching. He is in an elite class right now with the numbers he's putting up. I think Nimmo has to lead off, and you have to put Jock right behind him, because then a solo shot becomes a 2-run bomb. And with the clip that Nimmo is on right now, getting on base, OPS almost above 800, I do think that is a no-brainer. Lopez can lead off, Brian says. Brian, I don't think I'm on that page. Lopez has been pretty cold as ice over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, look, I like the player a lot. Scrappy player. Yeah, Nicky Lopez is 5 for his last 40, brother. I don't think you're putting him anywhere near the leadoff spot right now. I mean, I get it. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I might have said differently, but Nicky Lopez is 5 for his last 40. No way. Lulu, what's good? Lulu agrees. Nimmo before Jock. Most of the time, they leave him on base. Yep. And I just think at this point, you got to try it. I guess worst case scenario, like, remember when Boch was still around and, Boch took Simeon out of the leadoff spot and batted Marcus third, and then eventually they ended up going back to it. You can always do that. If it falls on his face, if it's really not that impactful, you could always go back to Jock leadoff, but why not try it? This is abysmal. This is putrid. You might as well give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? You're only scoring 2 runs. You're scoring 1 run instead of 2. Come on now. It's the worst that can happen. Osuna, this is a good question. Now, the only thing about this Osuna, options is, technically speaking, you don't burn an option if you are only down for a certain amount of days. So I'll look up Osuna's options. I bet he has 2 or 3, because the Rangers haven't kept Osuna down very much. They really haven't. Like, they'll put him down, but then they will bring him back up relatively quickly. So I'll look up what Osuna is at in terms of the options. I'm guessing 2 or 3. I'm going to guess 2 or 3 at this point. We'll see how spot on I am, but that would be my best guess here. He's got 2 options remaining. And so right now, I believe a second one would be burned if he's down for more than like 20 days. I think they have that window. So you might be able to, at this point, bring him back up in maybe a couple of weeks and avoid burning one of his options. That's honestly the best I can think of here. I don't get the Kellenic thing, and I know that I'm an Osuna homer, full disclosure. Everyone who's followed me for the entire season, maybe even going back to last year, everyone knows I'm probably the biggest Osuna homer that's out there. So take this with a grain of salt, I guess. But, man, I'm really trying to be objective here. I don't understand the logic in DFAing Bride and bringing up Kellenic. I know Kellenic was hitting well at AAA. How many quadruple A players do we know that have come up from Round Rock over the course of the last 3 seasons? We have had so many quadruple A players grace this roster over the last 3 years. So I know Kellenic had the RBI today. I mean, come on now. I definitely am a fan of putting the ball in play. Beautiful things can happen when you simply put the ball in play, as I like to say. But, I mean, Kellenic, it's not like what he did today was him winning a battle. Getting a little lucky, getting a little fortunate, putting the ball in play. You love to see it, but, I mean, come on now. I don't think anybody can make a hype video out of that base knock. It's a base knock. In the box score, it looks beautiful, but my point is, why bring up Kellenic when you already have Osuna? I'm open-minded on this, by the way. If you really have a solid, airtight argument here, I want to hear it. You've got Osuna. There's no reason to bring up Kellenic. I'm sorry. I know Kellenic's got like a little more pop, but I think Osuna, what he brings in intangibles, is much more valuable than Kellenic. Osuna is one of the most energetic players on the team, man. We've talked about over and over. Who do they go to? Who does the camera pan to every time somebody on this team is doing something well? It's Osuna, man. He's a great clubhouse guy. I know that only takes you so far, but I do think that he brings an energy, even when he's not playing, that this team is going to miss. This is already kind of a ho-hum, mind your business, don't show too much emotion team. It was nice to see a guy like him out there doing his thing, even when he wasn't playing, getting the team hype. I think that he brings a little bit more than just the bat and just what you see on the field. I don't know if you want to call him a glue guy. Like I told you guys, it's not going to take much to convince me of good things related to Alejandro Osuna. He does feel like a bit of a glue guy to me. Yeah, even though he wasn't playing all the time, dude was locked in. You never saw him pouting. How much have we complained about powders on this team over the last 2 years? We've complained so much. Jonah Heim, that was a big one, right? Even our boy Josh Smith, he was kind of getting a little bit of a powder reputation there at the end. We definitely had some powders on the ball club here the last couple of years. Great to see a dude that isn't necessarily getting a lot of time out there, but definitely is not pouting. In fact, is leading the charge, keeping the boys up, keeping the spirits up, keeping the energy up. For me, I don't think Osuna is the offensive juggernaut player that you're missing. I do think that he's a guy that gives you quality ABs, puts the ball in play more often than not, never really looks over his skis up at the plate. Maybe out in the outfield, we've seen some debacles out there with Osuna. We've also seen some really good plays, and I do continue to submit. If you gave Alejandro a runway, hey, man, you're the starting left fielder. Kind of like they did when Wyatt was hurt. I think you're going to see him continue to improve. I don't get the Kellenic for Osuna thing. I really don't. I don't know if I missed out on that, but, man, I really don't understand why you would bring up Kellenic and keep Osuna down there at AAA. Man, I don't think there's any weird service time manipulation stuff going on at this point. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't seem like that would really be a big plan right now. Let's manipulate Osuna's service time. I don't think that's a thing. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, y'all. We keep going. Can't wait to see Cody Freeman and Michael Hellman back. The saviors. The saviors. Cody Freeman, look, good dude, good people, fan of the show, friend of the show. But Cody, to me, he has his ceiling right now as well. I'm not saying that Cody can't turn into a really good ball player one day, but right now, I think Cody Freeman has a bit of a ceiling. And I think some of that is because of injury. Some of that is because he hasn't played a lot of games yet at this point at the major league level this year. He got in a few once he returned from injury the first time. There's not a lot of reinforcements down at AAA that you're really able to call up at this point. Not a lot. We keep going. When do we think Josh makes his return? Nate, I've been very consistent. I don't think we're going to see him until probably September. And it doesn't really seem like it's looking very good. It does not seem like there's been a lot of good news with Josh Young and that calf injury. Isn't it wild, though? We've talked about this. It's so wild to me how we went from that Tuesday game. It was a Tuesday night game where he got hurt against the White Sox, right? They said that night he could have played. He could have played through it. Wednesday, they kind of said the same thing with Josh Young. He probably could have played today. We're just taking precaution. They had a Thursday off day. Friday was the Mariners series. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Mariners series. Young didn't play in any of those games. It's just crazy to me how we went from he could have played through it. He's in the dugout, even after getting pulled, to dude hasn't been seen for almost a month. Whew. My goodness. We keep on rolling. Let's see. So tired of hearing everyone glamoring for Osuna. This is a comment from X. Negative WAR player, butcher in the outfield, can't steal bases, dude's hitting 240, and we're acting like he's Luis Ariz. I mean, 240 is better than a lot of the averages that we've got on this team, my guy. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. And are we really clamoring for Osuna? I think we're just saying, why bring up Jared Kelenic when you've got a homegrown player like Osuna, a guy who's clearly been good, solid, a glue guy, in my opinion, in the clubhouse. I'm not saying Osuna needs to be starting over Wyatt Langford. That, to me, would be clamoring for Osuna. Even I'm not saying his butt needs to be in the starting lineup every day. I am saying I don't get bringing up Kelenic, journeyman Kelenic, when you've got a player that's got, in my opinion, a bit of a higher ceiling than him. That's all I'm saying. Hey, whatever you guys want to call it. I'm not here to argue semantics, but whatever you guys want to call it. I just think Osuna over Kelenic really shouldn't be that hot of a take. But you guys say whatever you need to. Like I said, clearly I got a little bias, but I don't really think that this is too off base here. Kelenic over Osuna? Come on now. Come on now. If we find out that Young was nursing an injury in his legs the whole season, this is a comment from YouTube. Sugi says that was why he had bricks for feet. That's another L for DFW Sports Medicine. I don't think there's really a correlation there. I mean, Josh has been losing speed. I mean, every season, really, since he came into the league. So I would be surprised if there's some wild correlation between injury and Josh Young being slow. Josh has been, casually losing speed each year, a little bit by little. So I don't really put the 2 and 2 together there. However, Josh Young playing hurt, yeah, that wouldn't shock me at all. I think Wyatt Langford's probably playing hurt right now. We keep going. With Young, maybe they're doing the healing process they pulled on Corey when he got concussed and was out for a month as well. I mean, with Corey, though, I see what you're saying, but the argument there was Corey was playing kind of bad, right? I think he was playing bad. So it kind of was a nice little excuse. Hey, let's just take our time with this concussion. Josh Young was actually playing pretty well. And he would be a really, really nice piece to have in the lineup right now. I mean, I have been very consistent. Josh Young, yeah, we get on him for the speed. We get on him for his glove. The dude's been really good up at the plate, and there's really no arguing that at all. We will give Bradford the flowers, man. He had a rough third inning there. I don't think Wyatt Langford helped him out very much. Felt like Zeke maybe could have had a play at the plate. It would have been close. You would have had to have a bang, bang, perfect play there. But Wyatt, just the lollipop babying that throw in from left field, I just kind of set it up all wrong. I just don't know what's going on, man. There are varsity high school players that could hit Zeke in the chest from that location. I mean, I just don't understand why it's always got to be, a big bounce into somebody in the infield when Wyatt's at medium depth. I mean, it is just kind of like at this point for me, he's got to be playing injured. Nothing else really explains it. Nothing else explains it. Yeah, thanks for agreeing here. Osuna over Kelenic, man. I'm not arguing Osuna over Langford here, boys. Come on now. I know we got some ladies hanging out too. Don't mean to be exclusive here, but y'all know what I mean. Like, come on now. I'm not even saying Osuna over Carter. I know some of you guys are saying Osuna over Carter. I'm not even saying Osuna over Carter. All right, let's see what else we got. Bradford. Jeremy, what's good, man? And Lord Tubbington, here you go. Cody had a rough third inning. He definitely was leaving some pitches out over the plate. I think we can agree there. But by and large, after that, shut down, lockdown. And I don't love, but I do like the fact that now we don't have to debate Cody Bradford in the rotation. The Evo injury kind of made that decision. I don't love that Evo is hurt, but I definitely did not want to keep debating whether or not he needs to be in the rotation or in the pen. It's so hard to tell right now. And I still say, take it with a grain of salt. It's the Angels and it's the Giants. He hasn't faced really quality opponents yet. So let's see how he does against quality opponents. The Angels, I mean, you got Neto, you got Mike Trout, Sean Uell, and then you got kind of a box of rocks after that. I know that sounds disrespectful, but let's just be real. So for me, as I said last night, I'm definitely appreciative of what Cody did. You're getting outs. You're holding the Angels to 3 runs, pitching 7 innings. Did he pitch 8? Did he pitch 7 or did he pitch 8? He got 7 and then Silseth pitched the 8. That's right. Let's see how he does against the top opponent. That, I think, is going to be the moment where you're going to get some more believers. You're going to get some more Cody Bradford converts. I know there's a lot of Cody Bradford stands right now, and I'm a big Cody Bradford fan too. I like the guy, been following him for a while now. I 100% appreciate what he went through to get back to this moment. I think that's the biggest thing we should all take away. This dude has grinded to make it back to this spot. And I just think we should appreciate that he's back getting outs, and it's great to see. Didn't get a lot of strikeouts today, but did get some soft contact and was able to give the Rangers some length in what's going to be a busy week of baseball. You got 4 games against the Angels, 3 games against the A's, no off days. I do think the true litmus test is going to be Bradford facing one of the top teams in the AL, a team that's actually vying for a playoff spot. Look, today's Tuesday. Bradford's going to start again against the A's. Another start where I don't know if that's going to tell you a whole lot, but you appreciate him taking the ball. You appreciate him getting outs and doing what he's supposed to do. I am very curious to see how's he going to do against a team like the Yankees. I don't think we play the Yankees anymore this year. I think we exhausted that, but we've got some series coming up. And I think just looking at how things are going to line up, he's going to be challenged here in a couple of weeks. It's not going to be next start, but I think that you've got to wait before we start crowning. I think you just got to see this guy against a team, not the Giants, not the Angels. Two teams that have both lost over 70 games this year. Watching Cody pitch is refreshing, though, and here's why. Regardless of what I just said, I know that it might be a little bit way too simplistic. None of y'all qualify here. The simple thing would be to assume that I'm just being a troll or being negative here. I really think that this is a pretty based, measured take. Cody Bradford throws strikes. And that is something that you can appreciate compared to what we get from other Ranger starters. Kumar Rocker, even Jack Leiter is susceptible to the walks. We've seen the ace pitchers, DeGrom and Eovaldi, susceptible to walks. To have a guy like Cody Bradford that just throws strikes, it's refreshing. I totally agree with this comment. It is refreshing. And that's why I said, if you do have to move somebody to the pen, a lot of people are talking about Rocker. A lot of people are talking about Leiter. I don't want to move those guys to the pen. I don't know if they're going to throw strikes. I know that if I put Cody Bradford in a game late, he's at least going to throw strikes and not give free passes. Cody did have some poor control today. This is a comment from X. He did have a couple of balls that definitely got blasted over the heart of the plate. But at the same time, he locked in after that and got back into his game, which he loved to see. Wish that the offense would have been able to do something for him. Didn't happen. All the AL West teams lost tonight except for the Angels. Yikes. Yikes. Lord Tubbington, I would mentally prepare, my guy. I do not see them leaving Jack Leiter or Rocker out in the bullpen. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dead wrong on this, but I do not think they are going to put Jack Leiter or Rocker out in the pen. Maybe they'll demote them, but I cannot see that. We'll see what happens. Cal Q tomorrow. That is going to be, I think, a start where you're definitely going to be in the ball game. I think Cal Q is always going to give you that for the most part. Clearly, it's not a lock for 3 runs or less every time, but Cal's been pretty much on that wavelength for, I would say, the last month or so. He's been good. So I feel solid with Cal on the mound tomorrow. I just don't know what this offense is going to do. And that's kind of been the whole story. Cody Bradford, 7 innings, 3 earned runs. Great stat line. Great stat line. If Cal Q does this tomorrow, you'd say the same thing. What's the offense going to do? Well, who is going to show up, man? We know Jock's probably going to show up. We know Nimmo is most likely going to show up with the heater that he's on. Who else is going to show up, man? Not a lot of options. Zeke. I think Zeke's been maybe the distant third out of those 2 guys, out of those 3 guys. He's probably been the distant third. But even his numbers are not amazing over the last 7, over the last 15. I mean, they're solid over the last 15, over the last 7, 240 with a 665 OPS. Not great. But Zeke has been impacting the game in other ways. He's been taking walks, playing great defense, had a great defensive play the other night. Rangers just need guys to show up, man. Seager bomb tomorrow would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. Please let it happen. Seager's been demonstrating a lot of warning track power lately. I think the dude needs to load up on the protein tonight and tomorrow morning. Let's go, baby. A lot of warning track power from Seager. I am hoping that we see him break through. Does feel like he's had some solid contact in this series. Angel Stadium, man, a bit of a house of horrors for the Rangers, unfortunately. Let's see. Tomorrow, just to be all on the same page here with the opponent, let's see if I can pull up the stat lines here of both pitchers. Rangers, another late night game, by the way. I know all y'all are so thrilled. ESPN game starts at 7:10 my time. 9:10. 9:10 start time for you guys. Yes, sir. Clausen, another 7.27 ERA guy coming your way. Another righty, so we're going to see Jock. We're going to see, Evan Carter. I'm wondering if we'll see Jake Berger. Maybe they're going to go to the Jake Berger well again, But if it's me, if I'm Skip, I'm probably starting Kelenic and maybe moving Nimmo to DH. That would probably be my thing. You maybe have Jock play first base tomorrow. I would like to see them mix it up and move Jock out of the leadoff spot while you're at it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the video for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm with this, though. Comment is just put the ball in play. No need for home run swings. Take the walks, too. Yeah, you do feel like, I mean, just to play off of this, you do really feel like right now the Rangers are very home run dependent. Like tonight, as I was watching this unfold, I'm like, please let somebody run into one, because we were just not going to find a way to do the station-to-station thing to score that run. I was just hoping someone was going to run into one. And I don't want to say, we were going to get lucky and win, but kind of. Like that is how the Rangers have had to get this done. You saw a little station-to-station last night with the Nimmo, and, you had, obviously, Berger coming in behind him, doing a job, but it feels like this team can be very dependent on the big swing. I just really hope that tomorrow is a new day for the offense. They have got to punish one of these young dudes the Angels are throwing. This guy again, 7.27 ERA, man. Jeez. By the way, last time out, 4 innings, 1 earned run against Miami, 2 innings, 4 earned runs against Cincinnati, and before that, Clausen, Angels probable starter for tomorrow, 2 2/3, 2 earned runs against Seattle. So, I mean, maybe you could argue the Marlins start is quality, but he walked 4 guys. In fact, he has walked at least 4 batters in each of his last 3 games. He only has 3 games in the major leagues. So he's walked 4 or more every single outing that he's had in the major leagues. There's no excuses, man. There's no excuses. You've got to figure out a way to hit this guy. Have to. Jackson from TikTok says 7 ERA, Rangers lose. Yeah, you definitely don't always feel great when you see a pitcher facing the Rangers that has some very bad ERA or is coming in like, having lost 5 straight, because that's when he's probably going to get a win and turn into Cy Young, turn into prime Nolan Ryan. Jeff, I am with you on this comment from TikTok. Jeff says Carter should have bunted with first and 2 on. I probably would have bunted Carter there too. But not bunting Carter there was kind of just a vote of no confidence in Jake Berger. I know a lot of you guys, when I posted about that, when it happened, you guys were commenting on that too. A lot of debate, but I just think that's a vote of confidence, no confidence in Jake Berger, to not have Evan Carter bunt there first and second, nobody out. And look, Evan Carter could potentially get an infield single there. Worst case scenario, you've got an opportunity to drive the ball to the outfield and get a run. I mean, yeah, there's no confidence in Jake Berger if you're not bunting Evan Carter there. The only alternative, if it's not about the lack of confidence you have in Berger, it's about the overconfidence that you have in Evan Carter's bat right now, which is also quite bad. Evan Carter, just so we're all on the same page, just reading stats off of a screen, by the way, just want to clear that up. 0 for his last 19, 7 for his last 41, 15 for his last 80. Evan Carter's been having a tough time at the plate. Really thought he had turned a corner. Was that right before the All-Star break, or was that right after the All-Star break that Evan had kind of turned a corner, was actually kind of putting it together a little bit? Maybe it was right before the All-Star break. I don't know. It's not great over his last 7 games, especially. You go to the game log for Evan. His last base knock, he had one on August 2nd against Houston. That was 9 games ago, almost 9 games ago. It's bad. Not good. End of July, thank you. So slightly after the All-Star break. Walcott's ready for the big league. He would be, I think, if he was not on the injured list and not unable to play the field. He's not going to play the field this year. Walcott is a DH only. Carter does have the longest leash in the world. I'm not even kidding, and it's probably going to happen. I don't want to say probably going to happen. It could happen. I joked the other day, Evan Carter could go 0 for his next 50, and the Rangers would not demote him. And you would also have people defending the high-quality defense. He's 0 for 50, but, man, he plays a great center field. That was a great play by him today to bail out Wyatt Langford, who totally lost the ball in the twilight out there at Angel Stadium. But, yeah, Wyatt Langford, he had a rough game today. Rough game for Wyatt. Evan Carter, even though he didn't get a hit today and contribute, you felt like he had some impactful plays today. I will admit, the glove out there, the speed, it plays. But it's only going to go so far for me. You're not able to hit the broadside of a barn. You can get somebody to play a good center field and be at least halfway more productive than Evan. To me, I'm curious what's going to happen after this season if Evan doesn't finish strong. I think the Rangers are really going to have to do some reflecting on him. I don't think the runway should be endless. I think he has gotten some time in the big leagues. He's still young. Maybe you send him back down and you let him start in the minor leagues next year if he's not able to pick up the bat. I think the Rangers just got to get creative. They've spent a lot of time ho-humming it. Can we all agree on that? I think the Rangers have just spent way too much time ho-humming it, doing some safe things, afraid to, do something really, really different. For me, I've got to think that if the Rangers, for whatever reason, don't make the playoffs this year, there's going to be a lot of soul searching, a lot of ho-humming. That, to me, is the word of the day when it comes to Texas and some of the decision-making. Yet, they've got an opportunity. You win 2 more games, and you're right back on track. I do think a split here in Anaheim is pretty disappointing. I would love to see Texas win the next 2, win 3 out of 4, and then you're off to Sacramento. I try, man. I try. It's just about what night you catch me on, brother. And tonight, I definitely was upset watching the game. Depression set in a little bit. And now I'm kind of in reflective mode. I'm not saying I'm nailing every single take, but I just think at this point, you try and flush tonight. If they can win the next 2, I don't think we're going to be too worried about this game. But if you lose tomorrow or if you lose on Thursday, just not good. There's no way you can spin it. It's not good to only split against one of the worst teams in baseball. You've got to take these next 2 games. And you've got Cal Q on the mound Thursday. I think the starter is to be determined, right? Thursday's to be determined. We'll see what happens. I don't think Maddox is going to come back. That was a question. Should Maddox come back? I don't think so. Lulu says, I think Mike Trout would look good in Rangers red and blue. I've told you guys, I'm a big fan of Mike Trout. I've always appreciated his game. I know he plays for the enemy, plays for the division rival, and the Angels were division rivals back in the early 2010s, man. In the late 2000s especially, there were some big-time games, Rangers-Angels. I know maybe that makes you chuckle at this point thinking about that, but Rangers-Angels used to be a big, big deal, man. And it was a lot of fun when they would come to town. We would go out there. The Hamilton stuff as well. You had Hambone signing the big contract out there. That added a little juice. I mean, look at it now. It's we were talking about this last night. It's like Tuesday night, empty stadium, and it's just kind of a very meh energy right now. These series used to hit. They used to be really exciting whenever they would get on the calendar. And bringing it full circle with Mike Trout, I remember watching him, and he's done it a little bit this series, just dominate Texas at different times. Just felt like every time he came up, he was going to hit a home run. And for some series, I think he actually did that. Holly asks, this is a TikTok comment, thoughts on the Mike Maddox firing. The Angels are just dysfunctional. There's no other way to put it. I think anyone with half a baseball brain can understand that Mike Maddox is not the reason why the Angels don't have good pitching, man. They traded away Soriano. They really didn't go and get anyone crazy in the offseason. He had the bottom of the barrel. Well, I mean, what were you expecting? It's like he didn't work magic out of nothing, so let's fire him. I don't get that at all. Mike Maddox, a lot of people, I think, have expressed support for him. Former Ranger AJ Pierzynski, Foul Territory Pod, he said as much. He got to work with Mike when he was in Arlington in the early 2010s when Mike was still with Ron Washington. And he said Mike, one of the best prepared, knows his stuff, and gave a full support of Mike Maddox and blasted the Angels. I think that is the appropriate take here. Who knows? Maybe there was some infighting. Maybe there was some stuff behind the scenes. Maddox getting fired up. Look, Kurt Suzuki, fresh manager, maybe connect some dots here. And I have no sources, but Mike, I'd imagine he's been around this game for a long time. You're working with a green manager, and I don't know if Mike had a previous connection with Kurt Suzuki. That I'm unaware of. Maybe in Washington. Wasn't Mike with the Nationals for a little bit? Am I misremembering that? And I know Kurt played for the Nationals a little bit too. Maybe that was the connection, but I do kind of wonder, maybe that green brand new manager thing played a little bit into it as well. Who knows? I'm just speculating at this point. Matt says Maddox didn't use enough technology, according to the Angels. Okay. That doesn't seem like a very good reason to me. Mike had one of the best pitching staffs in baseball last year with the Rangers. I don't understand that take at all. Matt, I'm not saying it's your take, but that's what they said on the broadcast. On the broadcast, they said it was technology. Yeah, dude had one of the best staffs in baseball last year. I mean, of course, yes, you had Evo, you had DeGrom. That is fair, but nevertheless, you had Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker was throwing games. You had Patrick Corbin out there doing his thing. You had a number of different pieces. And so I just think a big mistake. I feel like Mike only had a 1-year contract anyways. So who knows if he was even going to stick around after this year. Who knows? For me, I would bet that he probably was going to part ways anyway. If I'm Mike, I don't know why he picked the Angels to begin with. I probably would have gone with another team that actually had a legitimate chance to win. You know what would have made sense is a little Ron Washington reunion. The Angels, should have never fired Wash. I thought that was just incredibly crappy. I mean, again, we're talking about dysfunction, right? You fire a guy just, because he went through a health issue. I mean, I don't know. Wash appears to be doing just fine with the Giants right now, hitting ground balls and, doing all the infield drills down on the dirt. My goodness, firing Wash, I think, is where it all went wrong there. They felt kind of scrappy with Wash. I mean, they I guess they're scrappy with Kurt too, but they kind of felt like they had a little bit of an edge with Wash, kind of like we did back in the early 2010s, right? What do we know? What do we know? Am I right? Let's talk through a few conversation points. I've got a few more things I took notes on during the game. I'll throw them your way. 2 runs against this staff, man. Johnson with the 7.11 ERA. Angels fired their 3 pitching coaches. We're talking about Mike Maddox getting fired earlier in the day. And, Texas still can only generate the 2 runs. You just can't. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Anaheim just continues to be a chore for this team. They needed 10 innings to beat the Angels 4-1 last night. tonight they lose 3-2. 2 straight games against a 45-74 team. I know they've won 46 now, where really absolutely nothing has come easy. I think we can all admit that after watching these games. Nothing has come easy here. And look, these losses, they all count the same. We would talk about how at the beginning of the year in April, people will sometimes say, man, it's just one game. It's just one game. I mean, think back to that May series. How'd you like to have those 4 games against the Angels where we got swept in this ballpark back in May? How'd you like to have those games back? Have those be 3 wins instead of 4 losses? So, let's go to tomorrow. One ugly loss, it doesn't end everything. Like I said, the sky's not falling. But Texas, they've got to stop at some point letting the softer parts of the schedule. And you guys remember how everybody would always, make that the excuse too? I remember so many people would clap back at me. The schedule, the first 40 games, it's brutal. The next 40 is way easier. And now they're in another really easy stretch of schedule. And here the Rangers are dropping games that are winnable. And really nothing is coming easy so far against the Angels. But let's see how they respond tomorrow. I am really confident Cal is going to go out there and give Texas a well-pitched game. Is he going to throw 7 shutout innings? Probably not. Probably not. But is he going to give you an opportunity to win? I think so. I think he will 100% keep the Rangers in the game. And Houston lost too. Jaden makes a good point. This is another thing what we're talking about. In the standings, you're just missing out on opportunities to gain games. Just missing out. April losses do come back to haunt you. This is why I will always push back hard on anybody in April or May that's trying to tell me, hey, it's a long season, bro. Don't get so hyped up, man. Don't get so in your feelings. It's a long season. Dude, it always comes down to a few games at the end of the year. So don't soil the bed in May against one of the worst teams in baseball and get swept. I agree. Baseball is a very weird sport. It's a beautiful game, but it is a weird game. Question from Facebook about Skip Schumacher. How long of a leash is he on? Obviously, not as long as Evan Carter. But good one, my guy. But does anyone really like him? I think that a lot of fans are still halfway in, halfway out on Skip. I have not heard any fan, and I interact with a lot of fans. I mean, I'll hear fans occasionally defending Skip, but I haven't heard anybody really give Skip a vote of strong confidence. I have not seen anybody come out and say, man, this guy's doing awesome. The team's just letting him down. He's doing great. He's one of the best coaches. I haven't seen that. You guys let me know if you think he's doing an outstanding job. I'll say I think he got dealt a little bit of a tough hand with the roster, but I can't sit here and say, man, Skip is the reason we're squeaking out some of these games. It doesn't feel like he's a big X factor right now, but we just don't know what's going on behind closed doors. A lot of a coach's worth is stuff that you don't always see, but in terms of things that have actually happened on the field, I really can't sit here and say, man, Skip is winning us ball games, baby. And I'm not just taking this slightly negative route here because Skip decided to block me on all socials. I'm not just saying it because I'm salty, and I'm really not. I think it's a little bit petty, to be completely honest, but we won't go down that rabbit hole. I just think Skip, at this point, to go back to my original wording that I used earlier tonight, ho-hum. I haven't seen the impact that was billed when Skip first got here. Taking a little and doing a lot with it. I don't feel like Skip is squeezing everything that he can out of this roster. Let me know if you disagree. That was how Skip was billed to us. He's going to squeeze every ounce out of this roster, just like he did in Miami. I just don't feel like that's happened yet. Skip 100% did not get a full deck of cards with this roster. No disrespect to some of the boys we love on the team. It's not a full deck of cards. The offense, Brandon Nimmo, add, subtract Doley, subtract Times, subtract Simi. That's not enough. I said to you guys, that's not enough in the offseason. And they decided it was, and here we are, scoring 2 runs against the Angels. And if not for an extra innings game last night, would have been 3 runs against the Angels, right? 1 run was scored through 9 innings of play last night. 3 runs in the 9-inning average. 3 runs have been scored in the first 9 innings and the second 9 innings, if you will, of this game. It's bad. Very, very bad. Always feels like our bench is emptied every game. I was thinking the same thing, Brian. I'd love to see what's going on around the league. I don't want to pretend like I look at box scores for other teams all the time. It does feel like just about every single night the bench is emptied. Now, tonight, there's probably going to be like 2 guys sitting on the bench that we didn't use. Let's see. Kellenic, Diaz, Cawley, Foscue. Bench was emptied again tonight pretty much. I mean, what we had was 1 guy left. Pretty much everybody was played tonight. Frankie says, I don't trust Skip with the season on the line. Comment from TikTok. There's a number of people that I would say that about right now on the Rangers, sadly. I mean, I said it the other night. I don't trust Jack Leiter. I don't trust Mackenzie Gore. I don't trust Kumar Rocker in a playoff game. Keep them as far away from October as possible. I mean, they're going to have to play. But I would rather have Cal Q start game 3 than have one of those dudes take the mound. Skip, the jury's out. The jury is out on him. But Colts fan, this is probably actually spot on. I do think that CY and Skip, the mentality is similar. You know, they definitely have got the media nothing burger thing down. I mean, just saying a whole lot of absolute zilch most evenings and then saying things that just make you, bro, what? Like CY with Jordan Montgomery and Cody Bradford were the best possible trade pieces we could get in so many words. I know I'm ad-libbing a little bit. Bro, what? We all like Cody Bradford. We all love Jordan Montgomery, but you couldn't have gotten anything better than those 2 guys. Really? Interesting. Skip is a yes man. That's why they hired him. Agreed. Without information, agreed. I think Skip definitely is someone at this point who's kind of fallen in line. I did say maybe next year, in year 2, which I do think he's going to get. Maybe in year 2, he gets a little more vocal. Maybe this offseason he gets a little more say. But yeah, I think this year, absolutely. Cal, got to bring it on ESPN. Yes, sir. ESPN game tomorrow night. Let's go. Hopefully it goes well. Should we even bother with the batter versus pitcher? Let's see here. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of numbers for us to really go through. We'll check it out. Why not? We got a little bit of time. Be going a little bit over an hour here. We're at about the hour and 8-minute mark. We're going to wrap this up. $1:15, and that'll do. So tomorrow, late night, 9:10 Texas time starts. Sorry, y'all. We'll be here again. I'm going to try and go live a little bit sooner, just being totally real with y'all. I was trying to get both my kiddos to bed, like to spend a little time with them before they go to sleep, you know, do the tuck-in thing. And it was just getting a little late. Rangers just were not doing anything. And I'm just like, I'm just going to enjoy some time with the kids. And, you know, if nobody shows up for the post-game live, then nobody shows up. And you can catch it on the replay. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised how many of you guys came for the therapy session. Makes me smile. At least we got that, man. At least we got each other right now. All right. Quantrill actually does have some ABs against the Angels, man. Frazier, 4 for 16 against Quantrill. Lowe, 0 for 3. Meckler, 1 for 1. Neto 1 for 7. Peraza 2 for 4. Shonowell 2 for 10. Siri 3 for 4. Mike Trout 3 for 9 against Cal Q. And then Darno. Have we seen Darno? Have I just been totally whiffing on him being around? Has Darno played yet in this series? And I've just totally not been paying attention. Look, I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Been a long day today for me. Been a real long day for you guys. Darno, Ranger Crusher, he did not play today. He played last night. Okay, all right. I'm shocked he didn't have like 2 bombs. Feels like whatever uniform that guy's wearing, he's hitting a home run against us. All right, so he played, but he had been pretty absent. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's wrap up our show. On the other side, by the way, Rangers have no ABs against probable starter for the Angels, and that is Clausen. George Clausen, 7.27 ERA and all. I'm more interested in the lineup for tomorrow. I think you give Berger a day, have Jock play a little 1B, and then maybe you put Nimmo at the DH spot, throw Kellenic out there in the outfield, load up on the lefties, see what happens. That's what I'd be doing. Load up on the lefties. See if you can get to Clausen early, make the Angels empty out the pen, get a win on ESPN Baseball. That is the plan. All right, let's wrap it. Tonight told me this offense can still waste perfectly winnable pitching nights. Perfectly winnable pitching night tonight. Cody Bradford, wasted quality start. I'm still unsure about, and hear me out on this one. I've already kind of mentioned this a little bit. I'm still a little unsure about what exactly Cody Bradford is going to be for this pitching staff down the stretch. And that's more of a curiosity thing than anything. How are they going to use this guy? Is he really going to be starting pitcher, maybe our number 3 guy in October? I mean, shoot, if he keeps doing stuff like this, it's going to be hard to argue against it. It really is. I don't know if the Rangers have the cojones to take Rocker and Leiter out of the rotation, and I do think that's what it comes down to, by the way. Are they going to be willing to do that to keep a guy like Cody Bradford, who's throwing well, in? We'll see what happens. Next thing that I'm going to be watching for tomorrow, whether this lineup answers immediately, as they should against a guy that has 3 career MLB starts and an ERA over 7 and has walked at least 4 batters in every one of his major league games. Rangers have to stop letting the Angels dictate the game. They've got to find a way to take over these ball games. Would love to see a no sweat tomorrow on ESPN. Love to see a no sweat Rangers win 8-1, 8-2, put up some runs, show out for the national audience. That's the plan. Nate, this is awesome. Comment from X. Who isn't a Ranger killer at this point? That was when I was talking about Travis d'Arnaud. Hey, we'll see you later, man. Thank you so much for all the comments. I appreciate you. We got anything else? No hitter watch tomorrow, Matt says. I'm trying to keep a glass half full, man. I really am. Moving on to football season, Tyler says. We'll be covering the Cowboys and the Longhorns during the football season. If you're not a fan of either team, as I always like to say, come by, do some trolling, participate in some friendly trash talk. We'll be here hanging out. I think Cal's going to give us a good game tomorrow night, 5 or 6 innings. That would be my prediction. Brian says Skip is okay, but him being on the 11 Cardinals that beat us doesn't sit right. Yeah, and then the whole Jordan 11s thing, that doesn't sit right with me. And Skip's like bragging about it to Jared Sandler. I wear the 11s for 2011. It's my favorite shoe. Dude, what? Don't say that. Wear the Jordan 11s in silence. There's no need to tell that story. No need, baby. Jaden, yes, sir. I know not everybody appreciates my taste in football teams, but I'm glad a few of you do. Burn the Jordans. Sugi, you've been on this campaign. I agree. I agree. Dan, please let it be true. Please let it be true. All right, y'all. Most of you guys obviously have been hanging out most of the time, but if you missed something, want to go back and check something else out, I am going to be, as I said after the show, always posting these to all major podcast providers. Give a follow over there. I'd appreciate it. Even if you are usually here for the lives, man. Thank you in advance. If you could go, I'll post probably a link at some point tomorrow morning. Would love it if you would follow me on Apple Podcasts or over on Spotify, whatever you use. Even if you're not a big time listener, man, that would make a big difference. Any little way you can support, trust me, I'm not taking it for granted. So thank you. And tomorrow we'll have some more content out to you. I've got some more Rangers history to bring your way. Would really encourage you to follow me over on X, follow me on Threads, on Facebook. If you don't, I know we've got some people from a lot of different places tonight, some Instagram people hanging out. Absolutely go follow on one of those. I post a lot more content, especially on X, Threads, and Facebook during the games. So if you want to catch that content out, definitely go and follow after the show is over. And look, tomorrow, new day. Well, like I said, we'll have some good stuff your way. I'll have a video out probably talking about Jock Peterson, talking about this offense a little bit, maybe giving Cody Bradford some love, give you a little preview there. I've got a couple other things planned. It's going to be good, but what's going to be better is the Rangers getting back on track tomorrow night. I think we can all agree with that. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Tuesday in the books, Wednesday tomorrow, hump day. Let's hope that it goes quickly as we approach the weekend. Rangers got a series to split tomorrow and a series to win on Thursday. Let's do it. We'll be back 8th or 9th inning tomorrow night. Come hang out again. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.